Developed an experimental archaeology project to create a swatch of variegated colors of antique bronze with also patinas and other surface treatments. The swatch allows me to understand the chain operatoire of manufacture of foundry elements and to restore the original colors of Greco-Roman bronze furniture. The swatch can also help in restoration work with the data of physico-chemical analysis. The sources we can use to identify and understand this is polychrome decoration are textual, iconographic, and material. This is two paintings for the iconographic sources. They predate my study period, but because of their exceptional nature and small change in the chain operatoire of manufacture of antique bronze, I rely on their painting decoration to explain the different activities related to the production of bronze artifacts. The 100 platelets of swatch were numbered for classification. The first number corresponds to a type of alloy, and the second number corresponds to a recipe of patina. The color obtained with experiments were measured by colorimetry with the soil color chart of Mansell. The present paper is constructed from the various steps of manufacture and decoration of bronze platelet sample of the swatch. The first activity, the chosen technique is the lost was casting. The lost was method is used widely in ancient time to make bronze objects at the 6th BC. The first activity is to make a 100 platelet in rosin. Rosin is like wax and has almost the same modeling property. Platelet are then assembled in pack of 10 with wax on the central axis to form a cluster. A casting pot is added to the top of the jetmaster. Vents can be assembled to evacuate air and gas during the casting. The second step relates to the production of the mold. They encase the wax model. The mold enables the bronze to be cast and must withstand both the oven and the pressure of the molten metal. The mold is my study were made with the ERM technique, which use a refractory material composite to lime and fire clay. The molds are then placed in an oven with the casting pot down for dioxin and firing. At 550 degrees, the wax sublimates, leaving an empty space to be occupied thereafter by the bronze. The alloy of my swatch are based on the elemental composition of objects of my corpus. The elemental composition are known through physico-chemical analysis conducted as part of different studies and publications. Antique bronze is a binary alloy, a copper of tin. It can be tinary with the addition of lead. The first 6 bronze are an average of alloys that are found amongst ancient furniture. The 4 following have elemental composition unique to ancient objects. The last alloy, number 11, is a Corinthian bronze, alloy of copper, silver, and gold, highly regarded by the ancients. A first casting of each alloy is performed to manufacture an ingot. It's used to refine the alloy to avoid the segregation of metals. Now, I will show you a short video to illustrate the main casting. The molds are warmed in the white oven. The hot mold allows a better casting of the molten alloys. Another furnace, the left one, with the crucible was prepared at the same time for a melting ingot. Before incorporating the ingot, piece of alcohol and glass are added for a reduction firing. They are used to burn oxygen and create a hermetic layer on the surface of the alloys in temperature-wise. When the bronze is molten, it's screwed by removing the surface layer of carbon and glass. Without pause after the screw, one leaves the crucible furnace, removes some remaining impurities, and casts bronze into the mold. And the cluster is numbered. After cooling, the molds are unchecked and deburied. These activities consist respectively of carrying the action to separate the bronze piece by destruction of its mold and reading of the platelet sample of all excess metal that remain. The platelet samples are finally individually numbered. The platelets are still crude foundry. They undergo sandblasting, which is an abrasive polishing, and finally the bronze is chiseled. Chisel aims to eliminate imperfection and casting defects such as blowholes. Generally, the chiseling is carried out using not cutting tools, such as a scraper, like this is represented in painting of Berlin Foundry Cup. As to Corinthian bronze, is highly ductile thanks to the presence of gold. During casting, the molten alloy is very fluid. I archive only 2 small ingots of this metal, and by hammering and cutting, I'm got for platelet sample of 1 mm thick. The result, the color of bronze. The alloys of bronze differ in color from red to yellow. The percentage of tin in the alloy permits the color change. The alloy number 7 contain 5% of tin, is the reddest, whereas the alloy number 8 with 15% tin is yellow. The colors are light because the platelets are bright after polishing. An important reflection of light makes lighter colors. Corinthian bronze has a red color without patina. After this is manufacturing operation, the object can be subjected to one or several decorative and polychrome aesthetic activities by surface treatments. The first surface treatments can be carried out directly on the surface of the wax model by engraving, smoothing, or picketing. It permits shaping the wax and give it a material effect. This appears on the surface of bronze and creates play of light thanks to difference in light reflection and perception of the ice. It's possible to polishing. Donc, to polish is to rub the surface of an object to vary and regulate the surface. Polishing is done with fine abrasive so that the bronze surface is lustrous. Pumice is commonly used as an abrasive in antiquity, as well as emery rock from the island of Naxos in Greece. Emery was powdering in grains of different size, and it was mixed with oil to polish metal. This activity is representing of the Attic red figure Nolan Amphora, Hephaestus in the process of polishing the future child of Achilles. The surface of polishing bronze is finally waxed to protect it from corrosion and a loss of brightness. Damascene consists of inlaying a metal wire on the surface of bronze. It creates polychrome decoration. The decorations are mostly geometric or floral, such as acanthus, but also more complex, as in the sense of harvest. Inlays are also used to make its figure more realistic and animate. Lips, nipple, trace of blood appear red copper, and teeth, nail, and eyes are silver. Gilding comprises applying a gold to the surface of the bronze patina or not. Gold is a rare metal, luxurious, very bright, very ductile and unalterable. Several techniques were practiced in antiquity for adhering gold to the surface of bronze. For example, gilding by metal bonding as mercury gilding. There is also the gilding of adhesive bonding with gold leaf, as on the platelet sample 6.9. The gilding accentuates the shine of the alloy and has a protective effect because it stops the formation of the oxidation. Patination. Patina is the surface coloration of bronze, which results from the presence of the adherent layer formed by damage of the metal itself, especially through oxidation of copper. It can occur naturally from the action of the weather, air, oxygen, atmospheric agent or soil for a long time. For example, Plutarch tells us the statue of Spartan Amiral in Delphi has a bright blue patina. Artificially, it may also be obtained quickly by the hot or cold implementation of chemical reagents. Artificial patinas allow the addition of desired colors. They also protect the surface of bronze against corrosion and hide trace of tool used during manufacturing activities. The patina of archaeological material can be certified and artificial, like the Damascene, when it's located between the groove of the inlay and the inlay metal, like a bed frame of the antique wick of Mahdia, with the black patina under the silver. The creation of artificial patina is a process of trial and error, because it's often difficult to judge a priori what result we will get. There are numerous parameters in the patina formation process, from the composition of the chemical solution to the composition of bronze and the various means of implementation. The products used and combined to produce chemical solutions are of different nature: alkali, acid, sulfate, salt, and pigment. Some of these reagents may also be diluted with water. The application are the hot or cold brushing. For hot brushing, the application is done with the brush and a blowtorch. A sprit and smoke occur to indicate the chemical reagent. It's also possible to apply a patina by immersing the bronze in the bath of solution. The reaction occurs at an even slower rate. A final method involves enclosing the bronze in an hermetic container and spreading the solution by evaporation, as I have done for the patina number 8. A wax coating is finally applied to stop the chemical reaction of the solution and protect the surface. First of all, the applied solution have still not produced a result. For example, I have applied a aqueous solution of alum, but there is not significant chemical reagent. Overall result with this picture, the color obtaining from this experiment cover a wide spectrum: green, blue, red, brown, and black. For Corinthian bronze and its black patina, I tested 3 types of solution: a sulfur and alum solution that gives a black color, copper acetate solution for a dark white color, and the application without a solution but heated with the flame gives a dark bluish grey patina on the left. These archaeological experiments show us the importance of the use and dosing of corrosive products in chemical solution for the creation of a specific patina. For example, the black patina is created only by a solution of sulfur and alum. To conclude, the swatch and the various stages of its manufacture have allowed me to expand the study of the archaeological material beyond strict techno-typological analysis and develop a new approach to the history of manufacturing technique and color. The initial result clearly shows a spectrum of color for bronze. Color change depending on the composition of alloy, but also in the creating of a patina. A polychromatic effect can be added by inlaying metal or gilding to accentuate some details. So Greco-Roman bronze furniture was enriched with color and shine. Thank you for your attention.